verse 26. Who can chant after Harika Tali? Are you able to chant today after me? Or do you want Likita or Sheetal to help? I know you have a small baby to attend to. So if you are available, let me know. We will do that. For now, Likita, will you be able to chant after me, Nana?
Yes, Uncle.
Okay. Yato nischarati.
Yato nischarati.
Manaschanchalamassthiram.
Manaschanchalamasstiram.
Tatastato niyamyetad.
Tatastato niyamyetad.
Atmanyeva vasham nayet.
Atmanyeva vasham nayet.
Now let's try to do the full line.
Yes,
Yato nischarati manaschanchalamasthiram.
Yato nischarati. Manaschanchalamasstiram.
Tatastato niyamyetad. Atmanyeva vasham nayet.
Tatastato niyamyetad. Atmanyeva vasham nayet.
So when Bhagwan clearly mentioned that slowly and slowly only we'll be able to practice, then somebody may doubt why slowly, what happens, why we have to take that time, why Bhagwan can't he bless us that we sit in the meditation, we have all the right intent, we love him, we want and we want to focus on him, we are sitting, can't he bless us like in one go? Remember, Bhagwan is not biased. Bhagwan is not biased. He is not the giver. He is the provider. What is the difference between giver and provider? You know, Sheetal? Giver, provider. The other way around. Giver is giving you because you want to take and he has it and he is giving you explicitly. Provider means he has it. You want, you can take it. You don't want, you can leave it. A provider is one who can provide. A giver is one who is specifically giving you. So Bhagwan is not a giver, he is a provider. Which means what? He is available to all. He is not biased. The power that he gives to our intellect to focus upon him, the same power he gives to the senses also to enjoy in the worldly affairs. The same abilities that he gave to Rama, as what he showcased, as a human being he came in and he showcased his abilities. Similar abilities were also available with Ravana and everybody else during that time, Vali and everybody else. They were also great warriors. They were also people who are leaders. Just like Rama was a leader of Ayodhya, they were leader of Kishkinda, they were leader of Lanka. So they had similar opportunities. Bhagwan never said that because I want to kill Ravana, I want to make him weaker. Because Vali has to go, I will make him weaker. I will remove whatever I gave. He did not do that. His abilities, his consciousness was available to all. How they used that consciousness is different. Vibhishana and Ravana, born in the same family, took the same consciousness, took the same abilities, and demonstrated different qualities, isn't it? Similarly, it is not easy. That is the reason why it is not easy to underpower the effects of senses. The senses will always come back and say, we have got all the power with which we can distract you. So let's see who wins. And then they start distracting you. What they will do, they will open up. They are always open. By the way, they are never closed. The senses are never closed. They are always open. Now, because they are open, they are the gateways to the worldly affairs. All these worldly objects will bring in information into those senses. And those senses then will communicate it to the mind and say, how do you feel about it now? The mind is the one that has to be disciplined. And if it is a good slave and a friend to the buddhi, the intellect, which is sharp enough to read the description of the scriptures and say what is right, what is wrong, then it will behave like a good servant and will respond back to the senses saying, sorry, my buddhi says, I am my friend buddhi is instructing me that you are a distraction at this point in time. So I am busy doing certain activity which is focusing on the Lord. Please do not disturb me. And then they will come back. Exactly what Bhagavan is saying here. Yato nischarati manaha. The mind slowly, when it gets distracted. Why? Because it is chanchalam. It is very volatile. And asthiram. It cannot be seated at one place. Its nature, the same. Everybody is having a nature, right? Water. The nature of water is it flows. Nature of air, it occupies the space, whatever it is. Correct? Similarly, every entity in this world is having a nature. The nature of mind is that it is asthiram, chanchalam. It is volatile and it cannot stay at one place. It's monkey. That's why people call it as a monkey mind. Now, this monkey mind will definitely not stay. And so what Bhagavan is saying, Bhagavan says that as and when this monkey mind moves around into worldly affairs, tatas tatoho, which means tataha tataha, then and then, again and again, as and when it moves out, then and again, what we have to do, niyamyaiva tada atmanyeva vasham nayet. Only through self-practice. Nobody else will come and tell you. You should not have an alarm somewhere which constantly says, Aman, your mind is distracting. Can you look at, like how parents say, right? Why are you getting distracted? Focus on your studies. Don't look at your mobile phones. Focus on your studies. This is what parents keep telling in houses. If you just take a recorder in every house, this is going to be a very frequent thing that comes up in the houses. Don't get distracted. Keep the mobile away. Study your focus. This is what happens. Likewise, nobody will come and tell you, Atmanya eva. You yourself will have to bring the mind back and get it seated. That requires a lot of bala. That requires a lot of manobala, self-power. And that self-power, who should be powerful here? The most powerful should be the intellect, the buddhi, that, and buddhi to be, see, this very beautiful way of how that's why I love why Gurudev's commentary. Food for buddhi. If you may give the right food for buddhi, it will become stronger. If it becomes stronger, it will help you bringing the manaha back and seated in the position and do the job that it was supposed to be doing. But what is that food that you have to give constantly to buddhi to make it stronger? It is jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge is the food for intellect. Which knowledge? Not any knowledge. Knowledge that comes from the guru. Knowledge that comes from the teacher. Right? Acharya. When Acharya writes something, tells something, we must have shraddha, faith, that whatever my Acharya says, he is perfect. I will, because I'm surrendering to him, whatever he says is the line of action for me. And I will follow that. So this Guru Parampara, Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara, which means starting from Shiva as the Adi Guru, Shankaracharya in the middle somewhere, where he saw everybody was getting distracted and he brought Shankara back. And then from Shankara, all the other gurus they came, including Chinmayananda Saraswati. All these gurus, when they come in, they provide this knowledge again and again and again, again. Now, when we get that knowledge, we should just follow that knowledge. And that knowledge becomes the food for buddhi. So more we read scriptures, the more we can control our mind. So if we are not able to sit in meditative spirit for even few seconds, getting distracted, I'm not able to. I know Bhagavad Gita tells me to focus. I'm focusing, but I'm not able to. Why? Buddhi is not strong. Why? We are not feeding it. What we should feed? Scriptures. The more we chant, the more we read the scriptures, the better and the stronger the buddhi will become. And the stronger the buddhi, the higher will be the power of this buddhi to instruct manaha and say, I am more powerful. You have to listen to me, right? Don't go there, sit down. And then manaha will obey that because it sees that buddhi is more powerful. It will say, okay, whatever you say, because you are powerful, right? This is the overall schematic representation of how things work. So the ultimate goal is what? The more we chant Lord's name, the more we read the scriptures, understand it through Guru Vakya, it helps us in meditating. What after meditating? We will see. So here it says, yato yato nishcharati manaha chanchalam asthiram tatas tato niyamya etad atmanyeva vasham nayet. You should yourself, which means through your own intellect, you should instruct your mind and make it come back and sit at its place. Nobody else is going to do it. Don't have that expectation. Amma, I am doing meditation. If I get distracted, because I usually get distracted, I may sometimes sleep also. Please come and wake me up. Nobody will do that. Let's not go in that fashion. That's not the way to do. Okay. Ourselves, we have to come back. So that is the essence. That is the main instruction here. Let's go to 27. 27. I think Likita Tali, you will have to chant today.
Yes, sir.
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनम्
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं
योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्
योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्
उपैति शान्तरजसम्
उपैति शान्तरजसम्
ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्.
ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्.
Let us do the full line now. प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्.
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम्.
उपैति शान्तरजसम् ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्.
उपैति शान्तरजसम् ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्.
Brahmabhutam. Brahmabhutam is not, it's not like Brahma Rakshasi or something. Brahmabhutam. Bhutaha means the current state. Bhutaha means also, Bhutaha means past, right? But Bhutam means in this state, existing in that state. So Brahmabhutam is becoming Brahman. That means there is no difference between the person who is meditating sincerely and the Lord himself if the meditation is successful. So in that condition, obviously, how will the mind be? The mind of Lord. How will the mind of Lord be? Just like a pleasant ocean without a single ripple to disturb, always in the happiest spirit. That will be the joyous state of the yogi who is in the meditative spirit. He becomes Brahman. He or she will become Brahman. Why? Because all these distractions, when you constantly go and make the mind sit here, mind at some point in time will lose its intention to move around. Because you know what? How many times it might have happened? I don't know about you, but mine, it's not many times. When I do something and people distract me every time, I stop doing that. For example, I want to write a nice poetry. I take a nice, beautiful Sunday, nothing else today. Happy. I woke up, and I'm inspired looking at a small natural beauty, and then I want to write something about it. And I start writing poetry. I start writing. My daughter comes. Daddy, Daddy, can we do this? Can we do that? Now, she doesn't do that. You don't do that. But what if she comes? I will probably say, okay, Kanna, chalo, let's do that, and gone, poetry gone. Then again, after so much of struggle, I come back and say, I have to do this. I was so inspired. How can I got those beautiful words. First line, I got it. Na, 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 na. The tune is also there. I can make a song also out of it. I want to do it. And then I sit down and start writing. My son comes. Daddy, can you please drop me to this sports event? I have to go there today. Now. He comes back always and says, now. He will not say, give me a plan. Come back and Daddy, can you do now? So that's the way he works. Okay, I have to. No other way, right? Take the car, go out, come back, gone. Your morning is gone. Afternoon, you eat, sleep, take a nice nap, get up. Oh my God, today, I just wanted to do this. I did not. But third time I sit down, wife comes and says, okay, now I think people are coming to our house. We have to like clean. Now when you get into that, your afternoon is also gone. Now in the evening, after the guests have left, now you look at that paper, you look at that pen, you look at the clock. Okay, nice. Close everything, sleep. You will not be interested anymore. This is exactly what happens to the mind also. Mind always tries to get distracted. Buddhi brings it back. Sit, goes out, come back, sit. The more you do that, the mind will become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and will lose the effect of getting distracted. When it loses complete distractions, all kinds of distractions, then there will be a point where the senses will have no effect on the mind. Why? Not because it is weaker, because it is weaker in terms of getting distracted, but it is getting stronger every time in focusing on the Lord, reveling in that joy. The more it starts reveling in this joy, moment by moment, every time when Buddhi brings it back, it feels it is focusing more amount of time on Lord than anything else. The moment you feel in life that you are focusing on something more than the other, your obvious interest will go into that domain, whether it is service, whether it is eating, whether it is worldly appreciations or whatever it is. The more you do something, you obviously get interested and involved in it. That's why people say that, daily practice these like great singers and all this. Morning, early morning, you should get up. Morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour practice. It's not practice. It is just involving yourself more into that activity. So obvious interest will come into, passion will arise, and you will become that. Right? So similarly, Bhagwan here is clearly mentioning that person who is getting away from these distractions constantly again and again and again will become the source that is giving that energy, will become the source. How? By cutting down all the distractions. By the way, if you cut down all the distractions, what remains in us? What does remain? Okay, my ability to sing, gone. My ability to smell, I don't care. My ability to hear, I don't care. My ability to see, I don't care. What remains? The pure consciousness that is giving sufficient power for all of these to work. That remains. What is that? That consciousness in us, which is giving the sufficient power for all the senses to work as per the need, is nothing but reflection of Paramatma. It is the Chida Abhasa. We call it as Chida Abhasa, which means it is a reflection, is a pure reflection of Paramatma in us that gives what these need to function. That's why they are so strong. That consciousness is the only thing remaining. Why? Because you have already cut down everything. For you, Manaha says, I ask my mind, are you able to hear something? There are distractions. I don't care. I only hear Lord. Some bells are ringing. I think it is in his temple. Somebody is calling. That is nothing but Rama's name. Every name is Rama's name. So that is Rama. Oh, can you see something happening there? People are fighting. No. It is Rama's game. He is playing Rama. That's Rama. So the moment you start putting everything into the Lord, all the distractions, then what is happening to these? These lose the power. They lose their existence. When they lose their existence, what remains is the pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is nothing but the reflection of God. When you and the reflection of God are the same at any given point in time, in pure meditation, you are God. Brahma Bhutam is what? Is exactly that state. A state when one is at the highest ultimate joy, just like Paramatma, and seated in him, just like him. There is no difference between him and Paramatma. That's the state which is called as Brahma Bhutam. And in such a state, there cannot be kalmasham. Kalmasham, sin. What is sin? The great definition of sin given by Shankaracharya is agitations of the mind based on the events happening around us. In such a state, when you are extremely focused on Paramatma, there is no difference between him and you, then there will never be an agitation in your mind for whatever is happening around. Such a person can tolerate any kind of pain. Such a person can tolerate any kind of destruction around him. Such a person can also tolerate the highest rewards and appreciations provided to him or her, because they all mean the same for him. The equal amount of the pain and the happiness, they just have the same role in life. They are just Paramatma's existence. They are proving that he is existing. So he is focusing more on that proof than the symptoms of it. So such a person is the ultimate meditator and will always be able to kill his passion-oriented or result-oriented requirements, which is based on the desire. I want to be the first in the class. I want to gain so much money. I will be lost. It's called Shanta Rajasam. You know what is Rajasam, right? Doing something for the benefit of, right? I do this activity because I want this. That Rajasam will be quietened. The mind will not crave for any benefits or rewards. It will just revel in all the activities. In fact, it will see Bhagwan's presence in all the activities. The reward that comes in, Bhagwan. The activity that I'm doing, Bhagwan. The effort that is getting put in it, it's only because of Bhagwan. Everything, it connects to the mighty Lord. And this loses its significance. The body, the mind, and the intellect, all three will lose their existence. And in such a state, when one is completely a Brahman, only thing that remains is joy. See, these are all the things which it is something like, talking about electricity, flow of electrons is called electricity. They move from one place to another, and then through a conducting element, and that motion, when it happens, it's called electricity is flowing. But really speaking, if you really want to enjoy electricity, know electricity, Gurudev very rightly says. Somebody was asking how to, do you know what is electricity? He said, yeah, I know what is electricity. Explain. Flow of electrons, blah, 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 blah. How does it look like? How does it taste like? How does it feel like? Oh, okay. You want to know that? Okay, great. So you want to realize electricity. Great. So remove that socket. He removes. Very obedient student. Remove the plug from the socket. Okay. Now you have nice little finger. Clean it properly. Yeah, he cleans it. Now slowly, there are 3 holes in it, right? You can pick and choose any hole you want. Now put on one of the hole, you put your finger in. Make sure that it goes in. Obediently he puts. Shocked. Falls 2 meters apart. And after 5 minutes, wakes up. Gurudev asks, like, what happened? The teacher asks, how was the electricity? How was it tasting? How was it looking like? What was its color? How big was it? How small was it? He says, it cannot be explained. It can only be realized. That's how Brahman can only be realized. All that we are learning here are an indication of what it might be. But and that's why those who have written this are not ordinary people. They are Maharshis. They are Maharshis who have written this for us to understand what it looks like. But until and unless we touch that and feel that electricity, we will not be able to realize what electricity is. But at the same time, just because we are realized, we will not be able to explain because it is unexplainable. Such is the joy in meditation. If you are able to explain that, hey, when I was in meditation, you know what? I was getting some kind of a glow. There was a white spot here and a green spot here. And in the middle, there was like a line. If you're able to explain like that, you're not been meditating, you've been dreaming. If person is meditating, the only identity is a smile will tell that he or she has been meditating. How was the meditation? Ananda. Can you more explain about meditation? I can only tell whatever my guru has told me, but I will not be able to explain what I went through. Words are not enough for that. This is what a true meditator will always say. Okay? All right. So we have a few more minutes. Let's do 28th. Likita Tali?
Yes, Swamiji.
So the previous one is clear, right? Prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam. The ultimate happiness is received by such a person who is controlling his mind again and again and making it stay stable. And then such a mind will lose its complete distractive spirit and will be focused more on Lord. And in that state, it becomes the whole, the mind, body, intellect, body, everything becomes Brahman. And in such a state, there can only be Sukham, ultimate happiness and nothing else. That's the previous one. So this one, next one, 28th. Let's chant, Nana. Yunjanyevam sadatmanam.
Yunjannevam sadatmanam.
Yogi vigata kalmashaha.
Yogi vigata kalmashaha.
Sukhena brahma samsparsham.
Sukhena brahma samsparsham.
Atyantam sukhamashnute.
Atyantam sukhamasnute.
Let's do the full line. Yunjanyevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha.
Yunjanyevam sadatmanam. Yogi vigata kalmashaha.
Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute.
Sukhena brahma samsparsham. Atyantam sukhamasnute.
A yogi, it is the exact same thing. Now, this is the consolidation of whatever the previous verse. Yogi who is constantly in that spirit of meditation, sadatmanam, sada is continuously in that spirit of meditation. When he stays longer enough, he gets the state of ultimate happiness and joy, and not through difficulty. Easily, very, very easily, sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. The highest happiness is obtained or received or achieved, accomplished by such a soul which is constantly meditating in Lord. Got it? You don't have to do any effort after a particular time. Only thing is, first, whatever you did, constantly bringing it and making it sit at one point in time, that was a struggle. Once that all thing happens, the mind becomes liberated. It says, okay, man, I cannot do this. I am no more a monkey. Don't brand me as a monkey. I am the servant of my Lord, and my Lord is my Buddhi. Buddhi says, I am not anything. I am the servant of my scriptures and my gurus. So it's all up to him. In such a state where Buddhi and mind both, basically both, we say both, but basically it's one entity as we discussed earlier. It's Antakarana, the soul. The soul surrenders itself and says, I am no different than Paramatma himself. So I am him. Let me enjoy being him. And in that state, when it stays longer, the happiness will not have to be asked. It not have to be begged. It will not have to be bought with difficulty. You are basically the source of happiness to many others at that point in time. Why? Because there is no difference between Brahman and you. If he is the provider of all the happiness in this world, so are you at that point in time. So it doesn't take much effort to even think of happiness. And not an ordinary happiness, Atyanta Sukham, the ultimate happiness, the highest of happiness that one can enjoy or realize. That, again, enjoy is the wrong word. I should have covered it wrongly, because If you are saying enjoying the happiness, then that means you're still aware of that happiness. One who is ocean will not be aware of its water. It's only for the others who are dipping into it will know the extent of the water, the depth of it. Ocean will just be ocean. That's it. Exactly the same spirit one will have in ultimate meditative spirit. Okay. 29th we will do little later. Now see, we may say that if you see what meditation requires is a controlled mind and senses. For controlled senses, you need a controlled mind. For controlled mind, you need to have a strong intellect. For strong intellect, you need to have a discipline to read the scriptures constantly, regularly, right? Which we may compromise upon, but we should not as a discipline. Again and again, we have to use that and then make our brain, make our buddhi go and sit at the Guru's feet, understand what Guru is trying to say, and then constantly go and learn this knowledge. Now, everything is great, right? All of this is good. But for what purpose? What purpose? What is the final goal? Okay, I feel that ecstatic joy. I am sailing in that happiness. What it means? Why I should still have to be a part of this world? That should be the question, right? Okay, I am getting almost, there is no difference between me and Paramatma at that point in time. Then why I am in this world? Good question. That should be the right question. For that, we'll have to wait for the next verses and see how this actually connects back to the world and what magic it can do in the world after that. So meditation is not a simple word in English that people use it wrongly. Watch out of 10 random videos, not even one video will properly explain what meditation is all about. You will always be told to sit straight, do something, put a dot on the wall and all that stuff. It's good, but that is not exactly meditation. So if we do it in the right way, how the world is going to be benefited because of that is something that is going to come up next, which we will have to wait for the next session. Okay. So we'll be cutting it short 5 minutes today, and back. The 5 minutes are back to you. You can use it for reflection. And let's close with closing prayers, seeking happiness to everyone. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityormamritam Gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. This Purnamada mantra, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, this mantra is the end result. The understanding of this mantra and believing in this mantra is the end result of meditation. So we will see how this mantra connects back to meditation in the coming session. See you all. Have a good rest of the week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy your life. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes, it is.